Growing up, I've always loved Spider-Man, and it's obvious that many others share the same sentiment. Go on TikTok or Instagram right now and see how many people will post videos and edits of Spider-Man with captions saying, "Bro, that's literally me." But what would it take for you to be literally him? I did the science for you, but before people try to get smart with me in my comment section, let's lay out some groundwork first. We're going to assume that you, 1. Weigh no more than 170 pounds, 2. Have the physique of a mountain climber, 3. Are always able to grab a web, and 4. Do not have super strength, endurance, or durability. Ready? Ready.
I was broke, pocket full of lead. Now I'm on the big.
I'm going to make a tradition to cover the most difficult and complicated aspects in each of these videos. That being said, you, our new Spider-Man to be, already have an arch nemesis: gravity. Before we get to specifics, let's first establish a few points. Terminal velocity for humans is around 193 kilometers an hour. Terminal velocity is also achieved after falling for around 12 seconds at about 450 meters. This is your budget. You begin to risk injury at 3 meters, and a 77 kilogram body will have a force of 755 newtons acting on it. And know this, force doesn't change. Every swing you take is putting you at great risk. Because gravity accelerates you at 9.81 meters a second squared, you will be falling at a rate of 9.81 meters after falling for a single second. If you fall for 2 seconds, you're falling at 19.62 meters a second. Falling for 3 seconds, you're looking at 44.1 meters a second. But so far so good. I mean, 755 newtons isn't a terribly dangerous force. A healthy human can withstand about 12 kilonewtons, which is 12,000 newtons, in a controlled environment such as a car crash with an airbag. Mike Tyson's punches average 5.6 kilonewtons. But the problem arises when you consider how many newtons of force will be needed to stop you when you grab onto your web. Now, I'm going to exempt myself from doing the math here because I'm not a physicist. In fact, I hate math and I suck at it. However, I can tell you this much: your arms are going to be putting up with kilonewtons of force just to stop you. Even if you had the grip strength to deal with that, you are, without hyperbole, going to tear your arms off. I mention this because one of my favorite YouTubers, Kyle Hill, shout out to him, mentioned that your arms will be destroyed with 10 kilonewtons of force if you're falling and you grab onto something to catch yourself. But after falling for just 1 second, you can expect a force of 7 kilonewtons on your arms. However, there's a bigger problem because your fingers can get destroyed or at least injured with just half a kilonewton if you grab something the wrong way. Of course, Spider-Man doesn't fall, he swings. However, what happens if you swing for too long and you start to descend a little bit too fast? What really complicates the math here is that webs are elastic. That means that if you're falling and you clutch onto a web, the web is going to move with you also. Because physics is like magic of its own, the elasticity of the web is going to share some of that burden with you. That means you're not going to feel all the force, you're just going to be dealing with most of it. Webs are your friend here, and even though it's not going to really save you, it's really like the difference of falling onto concrete versus falling onto concrete wearing a hoodie. It's just marginally better. But, don't give up hope just yet. Because if you're smart about this, you might just be fine. I say this because you need a suit. And it doesn't matter if you're using a harness or an actual like Tom Holland Spider-Man suit. You need a suit to deal with the burden because your arms will not be able to deal with it. If you had a suit or a harness that could sustain all the tension, then you are going to be able to swing like Spider-Man. So basically, you can't be Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, but you can be Tom Holland's Spider-Man because he has that suit. So if you were to waltz into Stark Industries and steal a Spider-Man suit, you will ultimately circumvent everything I just said, just like that. So you guys might be wondering, what about the webs? How is that gonna work? Well, I'm glad you asked.
Getting paid like no other dog. Now I'm stacking chips.
No normal guy can wake up and start swinging. The athleticism alone would be astronomical to not only maintain your own momentum and not spin wildly out of control due to the gravitational forces.
Spider-Man's webs are scientifically accurate, and I'm so thankful to Stan Lee and Jack Kirby for making this. Oh my goodness, bro. Spider webs, real natural spider webs, are stronger than steel. Now that sounds like I'm misleading you, and I am. But this is an accidental discovery I made while researching for this video. Technically speaking, in terms of tensile strength, which basically means durability when being pulled, webs are stronger than steel. I'm sure you've ripped up cobwebs before in your life, but we're not really talking about just a single cobweb. We're talking about hundreds of cobwebs bundled together to make a rope. Yes, that can hold up a human. Spider webs have a tensile strength of 900 to 1200 megapascals. I apologize for the cut, but in the video I accidentally said that spiderwebs don't match stainless steel. Not only do spiderwebs actually match it, but they're actually even stronger. So yeah, back to the video. Spiderwebs trade rigidity for elasticity, which means less rope burns when swinging and a smoother and slower descent. I need you guys to remember something though. Spider-Man is an academic weapon. This means he's able to make calculations on the fly, and he's able to consider the elasticity of the web swing as he's swinging, which means you need to be very fast with the calculations as you're swinging around New York City. Otherwise, you're going to slam into a wall and things are not going to end well for you. This being said, how does Spider-Man control the direction he swings in? This is actually such a cool thing because you can go out and test this right now on a regular swing set. Sit perfectly still on the swing and just start rocking back and forth with your legs. And the physics is so easy and intuitive too. If you want to slam your air brakes, just spread your legs apart like a starfish and you're going to create enough drag to slow you down. If you want to speed up, put your legs together and just swing forward. If you want to control the direction of your swing, just bundle your legs together and move them left or right accordingly. So simple, so easy. I have a question for you. Have you ever wondered how humans are able to lift beyond their body weight? This incredible gift is achieved by two means: levers and torque. Levers are mechanisms fixed on a hinge or fulcrum. In this case, your bones would be the lever and the joints would be the hinge/fulcrum. Through the action of your lever, you are able to create a rotation force called torque, which is how you're able to flex your fingers, arms, and other muscles in your body. Think Ronnie Coleman. But even if you're a hardcore ride or die gym rat, you're not going to be able to throw things like Spider-Man does. Whenever Spider-Man spins a truck in the air, he's creating a centrifugal force to accelerate the truck to be able to fling it at somebody. However, because Spider-Man is only the size of a normal man, the truck absolutely engulfs his weight, therefore creating an imbalance in orbit. This causes the gravitational of mass to protrude, swinging Spider-Man around as he's swinging the truck around. Let me be clear, Spider-Man swinging the truck with his super strength is 100% plausible. However, he is still bound to the rules of physics. Interestingly, no matter what you're throwing, there will always be a center of mass. Even if you're swinging something as light as a yo-yo, you're still being pulled in the center if even a little. But because you're so much larger than a yo-yo, you're not going to feel it. It's basically invisible. So imagine the gravity this thing has to deal with when he's slinging around 10,000 pounds at least of metal in a circle. He's going to be swinging himself around naturally. There's literally a sport dedicated to this called hammer throwing. And if you see what's happening here, that small ball of metal is still enough to alter your center of gravity. This brings forth the question, what is Spider-Man's personal record?
On the road like a trucker, man, had to take some trips.
Well, unfortunately, you won't be swinging around New York City, fighting bad guys and saving the world. Don't let this stop you from being what Spider-Man truly is under the mask. A good person. If you want to emulate Spider-Man the best you can, I suggest you train on a few things, such as mountain climbing, hammer throwing, gymnastics, and physics and chemistry. Never forget that Spider-Man stayed in school first thing. That's really all I really have to say, ladies and gentlemen. Drink water, praise God. Oh, and by the way, not only did I get flagged while researching for this video, but I also spoiled Hunter x Hunter for myself while doing this. So you better like and subscribe, bro.